Welcome back to the channel, y'all. If you've never been here before, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button, please. And let's get right into the topic. You know, a lot of people go to prison and they are wrongfully convicted. Contrary to what a lot of people believe, that everybody who is incarcerated doing time in prison is absolutely guilty, which is a complete lie. I encourage people all the time to watch shows like The Innocence Projects. You'll be surprised to know how many innocent people are behind bars. And this story today is about one of those people. Now, money cannot buy you back freedom after you've missed so many years behind bars. We're talking decades. But at least eventually there was a light at the end of the tunnel in this story. So a man who was wrongfully convicted and imprisoned for 44 years has reached a $25 million combined settlement with a central North Carolina city and the state of North Carolina involving a lawsuit accusing authorities of misconduct. This is what the lawyers for this man said on Tuesday. Listen, 44 years behind bars. Imagine doing 4 years behind bars for something you did not commit. You know how the prison conditions are. It's a whole different world inside of those state prisons. 4 years for something you did not do is a lot of time. Now imagine doing 44 years. People lose hope. People commit suicide. Hell, I've seen a story where this one man said he got locked up at 17 years old, tried as an adult, had never had sex with a female, so he was still a virgin, and after about 15 to 20 years behind bars, because he was supposed to do life without the possibility of parole, he gave in because he needed and wanted some intimacy so much, he ended up becoming gay behind bars. And then after that, somewhere down the road, he was exonerated. He not only left prison homosexual, he left prison HIV positive. I'm just saying, there's a lot that goes on. So the settlement in this case, which will end a wrongful incarceration lawsuit that was filed by attorneys for Ronnie Wallace Long in 2021, also included a public written apology from the city of Concord for their role in his imprisonment. Even the city is apologizing to this man. The city is located about 25 miles, like 40 kilometers northeast of Charlotte. And they have agreed to pay him $22 million off the settlement. Somebody else is paying him another $3 million. We are deeply remorseful for the past wrongs that caused tremendous harm to Mr. Long, to his family, and to his friends, and to our community. This is what the city statement read. While there are no measures to fully restore to Mr. Long and his family all that was taken from them through this agreement, we are doing everything in our power to right the past wrongs and to take responsibility. Mr. Long is now 68 years old. He just did 44 years in prison. Damn it. Mr. Long, 68 years old, he was a young black man. He was living in Concord when he was accused of raping a white woman. An all-white jury in Cabarrus County that Long's attorney said had handpicked by local law enforcement leaders had convicted Long of burglary and of rape in 1976. He was only 21 years old then. And back then, he received 2 life sentences. Long was helped for years in his criminal case appeal by a wrongful conviction clinic at Duke University's law school. Long's attorneys had said that more than 40 fingerprints collected from the scene of the crime were never shared in court, and they did not match Mr. Long. Semen samples were also collected. DNA did not match him as well, and guess what? That was never disclosed at his trial as well. All that stuff, the semen samples that did not match his, and they have record because they compared it later on in years, did not match him, and also the fingerprints that did not match, they all later disappeared. In August of 2022, in August of 2020 rather, a federal appeal court ordered a hearing for Mr. Long in his effort to obtain his release. Almost immediately, his conviction was vacated and Long was released from prison. Governor Roy Cooper later that year granted him a full pardon of innocence. A few months later, a state commission awarded him $750,000, by law, the state's top compensation for victims of wrongful incarceration. He then sued in federal court in Raleigh and in part accused Concord police officers of extraordinary misconduct. They went out of their way to make sure that he got put in prison. They went out of their way to botch his case up. They went out of their way to make sure that evidence that could have exonerated him was not brought to trial to free him. And this led to his wrongful conviction and his imprisonment in violation of his civil rights. Now, as part of the settlement, Long also received another $3 million from the State Bureau of Investigations as a result of the SBI's role in hiding evidence from Mr. Long and his legal team that actually proved his innocence. A news release from his attorneys in the lawsuit said an SBI spokesperson didn't immediately respond to an email and text message for comments concerning the recent developments in this case. So check it. Even the State Bureau of Investigations was in on this. They realized that they had the fingerprints and it didn't match. They realized that they had DNA sample and it didn't match. And they held it. And they could have given it up. You see, in these prisons, right, they need bodies inside of these prisons. It's easy to get locked up in prison. It's friggin' hard to get out. If they decide that they want to keep you there, then may God be with you, because they get paid a lot of money per year to store prisoners. Let's not forget, prisons have been privatized and nobody goes into business to lose. People normally go into business to make a profit. Prisons are on the stock market. So I'm not investing in anything that I'm going to be losing my money in. I'm only investing in where my money can flip a profit. So these prisons need bodies. That is the reason why there is an incentive to actually hold you in there even after they find evidence that you should not be in there. And apparently, Mr. Long is one of those people. Yeah, it happened back in 1976 when he was only 21 years old. But technology has gotten better over the years. And they have tested over the years. And they held on to the evidence that could have exonerated him over the years. The city of Concord also said that it acknowledges and it accepts its wrongdoing and its responsibility for the significant errors in judgment and the willful misconduct by previous city employees that led to Long's wrongful conviction and his 4 decades and 4 years of imprisonment. Now, while Mr. Long's attorneys described the monetary payment as one of the largest wrongful conviction settlements nationwide, they said that the city's statement was extremely important to their client because he is hearing from the governor, from the city, state leaders, elected officials, that we are sorry, that we were wrong, and we wrongfully incarcerated you, and we also botched up your case purposely to keep you in prison. That was important for him to hear. It's like a closure kind of thing. Could you imagine him sitting in there for 44 years, and on your 10th year, you start to lose hope, right? And you're like, damn, I mean, they're just going to throw me away like this. I got 2 life sentences. I'm never getting out. You know, I'm innocent. And he keeps telling people he's innocent, and everybody is going, yeah, right. Everybody in here says they're innocent. Man, shut up and do your time and stop the whining. And that man was genuinely innocent. Not to mention, when you go to prison for certain types of crimes, you're treated completely different. For instance, if you go to prison for being a gang member that committed a murder on the streets for at a rival gang, or if you go to prison for being a stick-up kid turned bank robber, or if you go to prison for a fight at a bar and you ended up stabbing somebody to death because you were fighting, you're treated completely different from a man who comes into prison and they ask, let me see your files, let me see your papers, what you in here for? Oh, you a rapist. You raped a woman, robbed her and killed her and raped her. And you a black man, young black man, you raped a white woman. Could you imagine how hellish his prison sentence might have been? I can't even begin to describe to you what this man might have gone through. Now, imagine being in that position, and then imagine having racist COs working inside the prison that have white mothers, white sisters, white daughters, and they themselves are white, and they find themselves in a position of authority to where they can hurt you and get away with it. Yeah. So yeah, he's been through a lot. This man is traumatized, and I don't know, $25 million out the gate. A lot of that money is going to have to be used to get him some therapy, because I'm sure he has seen and done things behind those bars. Remember, he never thought he was going to get out. He was hit with 2 life sentences. He never thought he was going to ever see freedom again. He is institutionalized mentally. He is also traumatized from all the things he has witnessed and the things he has had to partake in. It was a survival game. Hold nothing against him. And now that he's free, he's free. But guess what? There are many other people who have been wrongfully convicted and they have been released from prison, but they have not been rewarded. Like there was another story where a guy did 25 years and they gave him $15,000. What the hell is $15,000 to do after you locked me up at 19 years old and released me 25 years later with a pat on the shoulder that says, oh, we're sorry, we got the wrong guy. Here's $15,000, start your life over. That's crazy. So in one sense, he's pretty lucky. He came away with a $25 million settlement. And of course, his attorneys are going to eat up a good chunk of that money. And the rest of it, of course, should be enough still left to put him on a course to live somewhat of a normal life. But for some reason, I don't think his life will ever be anything normal. I just hope he gets out. I just hope he appreciates life. And I hope he spends that money wisely, enjoying this life and not going overboard trying to catch up on everything that he missed. But then again, if he did, who can blame him? 44 years behind bars. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Do you know anybody that is locked up right now that you think is innocent, that is doing a long stretch? Have you yourself ever been locked up, wrongfully convicted, and exonerated? We would love to hear your story. Reach out to us, tell us your story, leave a comment in the comment section below, and I'll catch you on the next video. Be good. I'm out. Peace.